Hello, hello. Sorry for being late. I thought this morning's been a very hectic. Frack, I'm already slurring. I haven't even started yet. Frack's sake. But no, it's been a very hectic morning, so I haven't had the opportunity to go to the toilet as much as I need to, which is not good for IBS. And because of that, it means that despite me technically starting at 10:30 hours, it's been about 12 minutes before we actually are beginning. So, if I could just find what I want, I can't seem to, because I don't find Epic. So, that's good. That's dandy. Thank you for removing that tag. But yeah, on that note, I am ready. So, on that note, hello guys. Sorry, I wasn't completely ready because I needed to get my desktop in order first before we could do it. But yeah, I am now properly ready. So hello, good morning. Hello guys, Mathematics right here, also known as Crystallised Entertainment, and welcome back to Behind the Crystal, where today we're jumping back into Source Filmmaker, and well, the thing is, my SFMMovie 6 sketch, I'm actually going to remove this message. Jeez, this stream is already in shambles and we haven't even begun yet. Shame. But I hope everyone is well today. Hope everyone had a good Monday, because I know Mondays are not a terribly good day. And I hope everyone has a good week. Yeah. Hope everyone. No. Turn this back down, because it was fine. So yeah, hope everyone is well. Honestly, even I have done quite a lot, relatively speaking, compared to where we started 2 weeks ago, where we just starting to block out this short. So, and now we are turning to the rounding and refining stage, which actually is going. Let's turn this down because there we go, so I can hear myself think. So I don't yell. But yeah, that progress has been made, and we almost finished rounding out and refining Applejack's animation. So show you when it loads. I'm waiting for the workshop thing. Oh, there it is. Hello. So yeah, hello Goofy as well. And everyone else. I hope you are well. And looks like it's about to load, so let's just put that back to my desktop. So yeah, so you might remember I was blocking out Applejack's animation, and I also Spike's as well, and making sure this shot was done. But here is like Applejack's animation as it currently stands. Oh yeah, I forgot the volume mixer needs to be. I need to turn this back up because I had it down low while I was working on it yesterday. There we go. Silence again.
Perhaps it is the context which.
Okay, that's still quiet. Okay, cool.
Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you.
And especially as far as you go, and I really like it because it's quite nice and smooth.
Words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you.
Like the overlapping in particular is like very nice and fluent, but and there's like that kind of bounce kind of gives a bit of life. I do have an idea for one, Goofy, but I'm not sure about what as always is right now an idea. So it's a long-term project which I haven't even started on. And that's about as much as I can say about it. But yeah, I do have a cartoon show in mind. So let's start. So here, that one. Oh, 2D card? No, not a 2D card. I'm not a 2D animator. Goofy. I'm a 3D animator. So I work in Blender, Maya. Actually, no, not Maya. I have barely touched Maya, but I work in Blender, Cinema 4D, SFM.
Turn the vacuum cleaner on out here. Is that alright?
That'll be fine, but you can't vacuum my room because I'm currently streaming. But yeah, I don't use programs like I don't use don't know why I went to that when I pressed superhero. But I don't use programs like Adobe Animate, that's Flash, Toon Boom, Open Tunes, those sort of 2D programs I don't really use. I think I did briefly use Adobe Animate during my college course, but I am a 3D animator, that's what my special talent is in. So I do have a cartoon show in mind, but it would be CGI, 3D animated sort of thing, because that would be playing to my strengths. And for a cartoon show, I feel that's a bit of an important thing when I'm just a one-man band. Start create pony 3D video. You should create. I mean, we're talking very far in the future in that cartoon show. Goofy, like very far off. It's just an idea right now. I need to do basically putting the context what needs to be done on the pre-production side before I can even start making that show. I need to do primary and secondary research on varying things, like to also make sure I don't get into like some fragile offensive areas, because that's a very real possibility with this show.
That's too noisy.
I don't know. Dang it. So based on, I also need to obviously do concept art for the characters, along with a mood board. I will also need to do obviously do concept art of the scenery. And then after that, I probably would have to pitch the idea, but it's not, but I was going to get the voice actresses as actors for it. I need to mix it. I need to do the storyboard, animatic. I mean, we're talking like that's like nine steps as it is. Goofy. Depends who you're referring to as my friend, Goofy. I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that question. I could collaborate on someone. In fact, this is for a collaboration. It's not an original thing, but this SFMMovie thing is a collab thing. Let's see. Oh no, that's my dad. That's my dad, Goofy. He's considerably older than me. But no, that's my dad. Nah, that's way too. So how are you, Goofy? I know I've asked, but I don't think you've answered yet. But so how are you, Goofy? I hope you're well. Okay, now that's getting particularly loud. Oh, I've been doing colours for about 2 years. Like the thing that was like, jeez, I got so many tabs open. Wait, why is it? Okay, that should have been closed. But the thing, why did I close that? Because I need to go on my channel. Bear with me. Right, oh, that's good to hear you, good Goofy. So like the last thing I did for college was this Outbreak 2 years ago. That was the thing that was basically my end of year project, and that was the last thing I did for that. And then 2 years after that, on my own accord, I finally got another short out, She's the Doctor, and then Outside. And that's where we are right now in terms of that choreography. I actually thought you would be on this one, okay. But no, it's this one, which is the last thing I did for college. Which I think got a distinction, despite being pony. That got me a distinction level qualification. So don't ask me that has happened, because I'm not entirely sure myself. I'll be honest with you, I should not have gotten a distinction for that. I probably should have got a merit at the most. But here we are.
Perhaps it is the con. Perhaps it is the con.
Wait, no, wait, hold on. This is what I wanted.
Perhaps it is the context. It is the
Oh wait, I just realised I never switched back. I beg your pardon. That's entirely my own fault. I thought I switched back. Okay.
perhaps it is. Perhaps it is the context.
Fuck.
It is the context which word. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken.
Okay, I am going to probably modify the timing a little bit because I'm not entirely satisfied with that.
Context in which words are spoken. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that. Perhaps it's the context in which words are spoken that.
No, let's just delete these frames and try again. Sometimes it's just better to start again instead of trying to salvage something.
Perhaps it is the Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that context in which words are spoken.
1, 2, 3, 4 keyframe. And it's just by just to there we go. Okay, let's figure
It is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power. Which words are spoken that give them the power to give the power.
Hey, that's good. That's the email I was hoping to get, because I'm expecting something to which will fit my current gaming setup size, more or less for my streams, more or less, because I can't tolerate something any longer. And it. Oh, there's epic. Well, let's go with that because I. Oh, I immediately like this one.
Give them the power. I mean, give them the power.
You know, when I want to click on a keyframe, that typically means I want to move it, not that I want to move the thingy. I forget what it's called. Hold up, I think I heard the doorbell go, so I'll be right back. So false alarm. I thought I heard something that sounded very similar to the resonating sort of sound of the doorbell if someone just holds it down, sort of thing. So I thought, oh, someone's at the door. But that is very not the case. So, yeah. So yeah, without further ado, let's get back to work. The moment has passed, back to work. Nope, that's not what I wanted, this is what I want. Basically what I'm trying to do is just like, and I'll worry about the arcing motion after, so I'll just Zigzag though. Oh, yeah, Goofy. Well, talk to you later. Hope you enjoyed what you saw of the stream. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you around. Wow, you just jumped over the place there. Don't know why you're tuned down over here. Going to this, dude. Oh, I never muted that. Oh, why did I mute that when I muted the actual song? What did I do that for? Okay. Oh well, at least you heard my voice. So it's not like it's the worst thing. So, just a bit of annoying background noise for hell.
It is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you! Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you! Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you! Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you! Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you! Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you! Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you! Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you! Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you! Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you.
Sure. Oh, that's not what I want. Why are you being like that? Shot 1, refine, pass 9.
Is the context of the power or meaning. I love you, love you, love you. You don't. Love you.
So next up is going to be the tail. So that's it. That's interesting. The fact there's a tail base. I didn't know that would be. So we're just going to judge that. So doesn't matter that it'll be swinging this way. To tail, playhead. Because you know we're gonna be animating our own jiggles.
Perhaps it is.
And that just tail base here. With tail 1 starting here. No.
Perhaps it is
Okay, so I'm still streaming. I even said I was streaming, come on.
Perhaps it is the context. Perhaps it is the context. Perhaps it is the context which. Perhaps it is the context. Perhaps it is the
The words are spoken that give them the power or meaning.
is the context which is the This is the context which is the context. Context which word which
Just making sure that you know, timing is fine.
Perhaps it is the context which word. Perhaps it is the context which word. Perhaps it is the context which word. Perhaps it is the context which words are spoken.
Doesn't look right on the book now, but
it is the context which
the legs look fine here, so you know.
Give them the power.
So it's like, you know, the leg animation, back leg animation through the here, you know, on the webcam it looks weird, but it looks fine on the main camera, so that's really the main important thing. That it looks fine on, you know, what the audience sees, not what I see at the end of the day.
Perhaps it is the context which word
Spoken. No one. Why is that set to default? That doesn't make sense. That's not what I wanted, fuck you. But I like this, return to light, that's also a nice song.
Words are spoken that give them give them
So I'm just... Oh wait, that's not gonna help because I overrid the default values. Frack. That's fine. That's just... It's just a minor setback. Some minor setback.
It is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power. Give them the power or meaning. It is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. And that give them the power or meaning.
This is a bit tricky, I'm not gonna lie. There we go, that just looked a bit off to me. How that was like, ooh, pff, like just went just straight and boom, right to the next point. That didn't look right.
And then give them the power. Words are spoken that give them the power. And give them the power or meaning. Give them the power or meaning. Perhaps it is the context words are spoken that give them the power or meaning.
Oh hello, that
Perhaps it is.
I saw a glimpse of the sun.
The context which words are
The
spoken
lens
that
flare.
give them the power or meaning.
Like literally a glimpse, jeez.
Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power. Perhaps it is the context which give them the power or meaning. Give them the power or meaning.
I'm just gonna do the switch through with the cameras and get straight to it. Changing this to something a bit more usable in terms of how stream's going.
It's word that the power. Give the power or meaning. Power or meaning. Give them Give them the power or meaning. Give them the power or meaning. Power or meaning. Power or meaning.
Like we're gonna like this is like discussing stress what I'm trying to do right now.
Power.
Dang it.
It is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken.
That just confused me if I accidentally selected two bones. But I just needed just the tail bone.
Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. And that give them the meaning. I love you, love you, love you.
So I know it's like not over this smooth, so let's just do this. Press 3.
Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you.
I don't. Yeah, I can't vibe with that. Something does not look right. It like it looks off basically.
Or meaning.
seeing you might be.
Meaning. I love meaning. I love meaning. I love meaning.
So let's just save where we got so far, and then we'll just save over. So basically, I'm going to back this up and then save, so that I have a copy of this older version, just in case I need it. Which is the whole point of me backing it up in the first place with these. Save little and often, and back up often approach, just so I can easily go back to an earlier version, should the occasion call for it, which I have a feeling it might.
Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power. Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you.
So that's that. Let's do like the same for this one. Okay, let's do transform bomb. Interesting. Actually, no, let's just do this.
I love you, love you, love you. Love you, you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the. Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you.
So I can listen to this.
Perhaps it is the context.
Wow. So I saw a lot of blur last video. Obviously did not.
Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Or perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Or perhaps perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give
Does
them the
that
power
on loop?
or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which
Probably
words are
fine.
spoken that
Might have
give
a
them the
second opinions
power
on
or
this
meaning.
one, but
I love you. Perhaps it is the
It looks
context in which
decent.
words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you. Perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken.
just muting that. Yeah, the tail, I'm just really observing the tail right now, as well as the overall animation. It's not really, when you look at Applejack herself, not just specifically the tail, but it doesn't really detract the attention that much in the grand scheme of things. But the tail bouncing definitely adds some life to it. But it's not like Elsa's not like the same height when she goes like when she does like the bad tail is not going the same height on the first bounce. I think we does add a lot to it, but overall the jury's still out. So it looks all white, but I'm definitely going to need second opinions on that. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I had a Universal Credit meeting today. I completely forgot, but no, it's been cancelled, so that's not really a concern anymore. But I did genuinely forget that was a thing. Oh well. Yeah, the bounciness I really do like overall. So, I give it overall. I give this an out of 10. An out of 10. Jeez, what fucking joke was that? And I think I actually hear a van coming, which again I'm expecting delivery, so once again I'll be right back. False alarm again. This time though, it wasn't due to my ears deceiving me. I did hear an engine, but it wasn't a van. It was one of the cars we have that does just making, just doing a little go just to keep the engine going. Because cars, as a fun fact, don't like to stand still for terribly long. Like after a while, it just causes mechanical problems. Would be the best way to describe it. So, it is what it is, and it is what it isn't. Did I back this up? I don't think I have. I think I put shot one yet. No, I don't think we shoot down like we should do. Nope, it's not done yet, so I don't need to change color, just the text I need to change. So you can take a hike. Cool. Oh yeah, I forgot. I bounded that to I did generally forget that I bounded that to the scenes to those specific numpads. Whoops, whoopsie doo doo. I did a fucky wacky. I guess now it's time for me to go into the forever box. Of course, this I had to play when I said that. Sack me. Seconds onwards. Exclamation mark. I mean, technically there's time, but I'm just gonna export this shot. Movie. AVI, sure. Selected shots. MLP. Season 5 is here. Yeah, that was a disaster. I love you. Dog. Shot 1. Work in progress 1. .avi. No point in doing an image sequence for this one. It's been a while since I've had to export something in AVI. Not what I had to, but it's been a while I exported something in the AVI format in general. It's just purely because I need to render out a work in progress thing for feedback. But while we do that, that's where we're going to leave the live stream there, because even though there is still like 40 minutes left of the stream, technically, I want to get feedback, and that probably will take a while for someone to look at it. And I also have other in real life stuff to do, like get my medication, for instance. That's a very big thing on the to-do list. It's something I really should do sooner rather than later. So that's why we're kind of ending the stream early, despite me starting this stream about 8 minutes later than I want to do. So we've lost about 8 minutes, but it's just because I really need the second opinions, man. And yeah, that's basically that as it goes. That's basically how the cookie crumbles. But regardless of the mild disaster, particularly within the first hour of the stream, the first hour in general was more of a little bit of a disaster. I think we can all agree on that. But regardless of that, we did get a lot of stuff done. We basically completed my main aims for the stream, which was doing the back main and the tail. And I am now ready to lip sync as soon as I get confirmation that the tail looks good. And it's just me being crazy, because I imagine I'm just being too paranoid. Low self-confidence, man. I would not recommend it. Somewhat. The self-confidence also keeps me very well grounded to earth. So, it's kind of a good and bad thing for me. For most people it's bad. For me it's like in the middle. But anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough now. So thank you so much for watching this live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. I have a DeviantArt which you can have a look at. So I post my artworks. You can find that at deviantart.com/hexadecimal. That's hexadecimal. Change the H-U and E and you'll find me. And that sounds like my thing has arrived. Furthermore, Lord, not furthermore, Lord. I'm got my prayer thing now. Beg your pardon. But what I did actually want to say that I do also have a Twitter account. It's where I post my rambling sort of stuff, as well as updates on my gaming streams in particular. So if they're delayed or cancelled, whatever reason, I'll be posting that. So you can find that at twitter.com/mjmossweight88. I'm wrapping up my stream, so that's what I did now. So thank you. I was going to get that after the stream. Farewell. Goodbye. That's a fine how do you do. Yep, and as Amazon saying, the item has been delivered. Yep, I know, because it's right there. But, and if you want to, now let's get back to the point. So yeah, if you want to see not as big of a train wreck, but if you want to see more of the behind the scenes stuff on my animation channel, I do have a behind the scenes Tumblr account for just such an occasion. Which you can find at crystallisedentertainment.tumblr.com, and finally I have a YouTube channel, which is the one you're on right now, which is youtube.com/user/SciGuyMovies12. All of the links are just mentioned in the description right down below if you're watching the archive. So once again, thank you so much for watching this live stream. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace. Well, I won't say that was as big as the biggest disaster of a stream it has been. It's been, won't be a resounding success. I'm trying to up my production quality, but it's not entirely working out. There's still a few things on my end. There's no more amount of layout changes going to do that I need to work on. But for now, this is where we part ways. Just a little reminder before we actually end the stream. On Saturday, this Saturday. Oh, fuck off! Why did you have to make that sound? The moment I'm making that important announcement. It was so loud as well. But anyway, I do want to. Now we get back to it. I do want to give a reminder that this Saturday, the 6th of March, if you're watching, at 10 AM GMT, I'm doing a special 7-hour live stream over on my Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Crystallised Entertainment, where we'll be playing the entirety from start to finish of Little Nightmares 2. This is a special one-off stream, and I really would appreciate it if you just kind of, lurk around, say hi maybe, I would really like that. So yeah, that would be swell. But for now, that's gonna be it. So have a good week, everyone. I hope you enjoy yourself, and I'll see you around. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye.